Yo guys, what is going on? It's Luki here and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about one of the most underrated and not talked about weapons in Warzone. So that is going to be the AK-47. Now the AK-47 is probably one of the most high damage assault rifles in the game. The only problem with this weapon is it does have quite a lot of recoil. Anyway, let's get into the attachments I recommend using. So the first attachment is going to be the monolithic suppressor. Now I actually haven't unlocked the monolithic suppressor yet because you do get it at level 61, so you're going to have to use this weapon a lot to unlock that, but in the meantime I'm using the lightweight suppressor. Next up is going to be the 23-inch RPK barrel. This will increase the damage range, bullet velocity and recoil control, and as you can see by the stats, this weapon has pretty good accuracy. The damage is one of the highest damage assault rifles in the game, and then the range and the control on this weapon is also really nice. Now, this weapon does have pretty slow mobility, so if you guys want to, you can use some other attachments that maybe make the mobility just a little bit higher, because this weapon does have a pretty slow ADS speed. Anyway, the next attachment I like to use is the canted hybrid sight. In my opinion, this is probably one of the best sights you can use on Warzone, as it has a close combat sight and a long combat one. Next up is going to be the ammunition. Now this is your choice. You can use 40 round mags or the 75 round drum mags. With the 75 round drum mags, you're obviously going to have a lot of power behind you, but your accuracy and your mobility is going to go down quite a little bit because it'll make the weapon a little bit more heavy. Personally, I use the 40 round mags, and then next up I like to use the Ranger 4 grip for better accuracy and range. So overall, this weapon is, like I said before, the damage on it is very, very high. It's one of the most it's one of the highest damage assault rifles in the game at the moment, and it is actually super underrated. Now, in multiplayer, this weapon is also extremely good. Now, in multiplayer, you can use this class if you guys want to as well. I do use this class in multiplayer. The only thing I don't like about this weapon is going to be the mobility. The mobility on this weapon is pretty slow, and it's definitely got one of the slowest ADS speeds out of all of the assault rifles. I think the Odin might have a little bit of a slower ADS speed than this, but overall this weapon is just really, really powerful, and that's what makes it so good. Now I'm going to quickly talk about the perks that I like to use, just in case you guys are wondering. The perks I like to use at the moment are Cold-Blooded, I like to use Ghost, and then lastly I like to use Battle Hardened. Now, in my opinion, Ghost is a lot better than Overkill. A lot of people at the moment use Overkill and they stick a secondary sniper on, but what I do is I actually put Ghost on so I don't appear on people's heartbeat sensors and maps whenever they have a UAV, and instead what I like to do is use Ghost and then have a secondary weapon of my choice. Maybe it's a pistol, maybe it's a RPG or something like that, and then what I do is I wait until I kill someone, and then once I have killed someone, I will simply pick up their sniper off the ground, and that saves me from using Overkill. And trust me, this is going to be really, really helpful, so I really recommend all of you guys doing this. Literally stop using Overkill. There is no benefits to using Overkill other than you get another weapon, but you can get another weapon just by killing someone and picking it up. So honestly, it's kind of a waste of time. I don't recommend you guys doing that. I recommend you guys just honestly sticking on Ghost. It's going to be so much more beneficial, especially in solos, because in solos a lot of people do use heartbeat sensors, and everyone just camps in corners with heartbeat sensors in solos because they're so scared to push anything. So it's going to be super helpful to use it in solos. Now, the other perks I use is Cold-Blooded, stay off people's thermal scopes, and then the other perk I use is Battle Hardened. Now, Battle Hardened is probably an underrated perk, to be fair, and the reason I use this is because it makes you less, it makes you take less effect to stuns and stuff like that. So in the final circle, a lot of the times I do get stunned, and it does result in me dying and losing the game. So I thought I'd go ahead and try Battle Hardened on, and in my opinion, it is very, very helpful because a lot of time in final circle you get stunned, and that's just so annoying if you lose by that way. So I stuck it on, and it is actually super helpful. Now you can use Amped instead, or Tune Up. Amped to make you swap your weapons quicker, and Tune Up allows you to self-revive yourself faster or revive your teammates faster. So back on to why this is a very good weapon. So like I said, this weapon has a lot of damage, so you are going to be able to destroy people's armor extremely quickly. Now this weapon can have a lot of recoil on it, so that is why I recommend you guys using a lot of the attachments that increase your accuracy and increase your control, etc., because this weapon does have a lot of recoil on it. Now the reason it has a lot of recoil on it is obviously because it is such a powerful weapon, and with powerful weapons it is going to be pretty hard to handle. It's going to pack quite a lot of punch into it, and obviously you're going to have quite a lot of recoil on this weapon. Now, if you are good at controlling recoil and you can use this weapon, then you are going to be so lucky. I know a lot of people out there do struggle with using weapons that have a lot of recoil on them, but literally all you got to do is hold your analog stick down a little bit whilst you shoot, and this is going to help you guys out tremendously. So this weapon really shines, in my opinion, in those medium range gunfights. Now, at those short range gunfights, this weapon is okay, but only if you hit all your shots. It's awful if you hip fire with this weapon, because it just is, but trust me, if you hip fire with this weapon, you're probably going to die quite a lot. If someone, let's say for example, you get into a gunfight really close range and someone does have an MP7 on their class, then you're going to be at a disadvantage. Now, that is why I want to talk about something else. If you guys can, just find someone else's SMG on the ground, so once you do kill them, you can use this weapon, and then as your secondary, I recommend you guys using something like an MP7. Now obviously you can just pick up an MP7, or if you really want to, you can use overkill and stick on MP7, but this weapon with the MP7 as a combination, in my opinion, is one of the most deadly combinations in Warzone at the moment. You have the AK-47, which is really powerful at those longer distance shots and those medium distance fights, and you can down people in just a few bullets. And the MP7 is there for you if you get into a close combat fight. So if you know there is someone in a building, I recommend you guys switch into your MP7 or whatever other SMG you find. And then at those medium to long range gunfights, I recommend you guys sticking the AK on and switch into it. Now, as you can see just there, I'll just showcase you the sights a little bit. The sights are really good, so if you do happen to come into a close combat fight with this canted hybrid sight, I recommend you guys using it on pretty much every single weapon. By the way, I use it on basically all of my weapons at the moment, because you have a sight for close combat and you have a sight for long combat, so it's going to be really helpful. Now, in a short second, you will see me get a few kills. I did show it at the beginning as well, but that is, in a minute, it'll be a very good example of why this weapon is really good and where this weapon really does shine. So, as you can see, there was people up there, but they have dropped down now, so I'm trying to look for them. Me and my teammates have no idea where they are, but I just see them here. I spot them and mark them for my teammates before I shoot, which is very important. If I started shooting early, I bet you we would have lost these gunfights, because I waited for the correct time to shoot. As you can see, that first guy I killed in literally about 4 bullets. But just by watching this little play here, like, this is, you should take a few little things from this. So as you guys saw, that second enemy there as well, I killed him in literally 1 bullet. I'm pretty sure he was probably a little bit weak, but still, that just shows how powerful this weapon with. If that guy was if I had any other different weapon and that guy was low on health, he probably would have got away, to be fair. So I literally just had to shoot 1 bullet into him with the AK and it instantly killed him. Now, I just want to talk about that for a few seconds of what I just did. So as you guys saw, I saw those 2 or 3 enemies, but I didn't shoot straight away. I waited until all my teammates knew where they were too, because if I started shooting, they could have started running and we would have probably not killed them. So I actually waited until the person on the rooftop knew exactly where they were too. I marked them all, and then I shot a few. He fired a rocket down onto them, and it did knock 1 down, and it also killed another one. So I recommend you guys just thinking about that for a second. So when you do see an enemy, a quick tip is to not shoot straight away, because this can result in your death. So I don't recommend you guys shooting straight away. Make sure your teammates know exactly where all of your enemies are before you do start shooting. Anyway, that's been it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you guys are enjoying Warzone. Make sure to go ahead and leave your favourite class below, by the way, because a lot of people will be looking at the comment section in today's video, because I know a lot of people will also be looking for some other class up. So if you do have a very good hidden class up, or maybe you want me to make a video on a certain weapon, just leave a comment down below and I will go ahead and make a video on that weapon. So if there is any particular weapon you guys want, then yeah, make sure to go ahead and leave a comment. But that has been it for today's video, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.